Don't be doing all that. And I don't know if it's because he's a man, but he don't be doing all the extra falling out stuff with him.
Yaya Mayweather has now stepped into the spotlight with claims about her father that she openly admits she once kept to herself. But according to her, staying silent no longer makes sense, especially after what she described as his latest public move, where Floyd Mayweather Jr. claimed ownership of multiple buildings in Manhattan. That statement didn't just spark reactions online. It quickly gained traction beyond social media, drawing attention from observers closely watching his financial narrative. What may have started as a bold claim turned into something much bigger as questions began to circulate around the legitimacy of those statements and the broader picture of his real estate dealings. Now, with increased scrutiny surrounding his assets and financial disclosures, the situation appears to be escalating, turning what once sounded like typical controversy into something far more serious.
The foundation of his claim, a reported $402 million real estate deal involving 62 rental apartment buildings in Washington Heights, Manhattan. Mayweather promoted the deal heavily, presenting as a symbol of his business savvy that public property records do not show Mayweather as a full owner of the buildings. In fact, it appears he may only hold a minority stake in the investment.
According to Yaya Mayweather, the version of Floyd Mayweather Jr. the public sees isn't the full picture. While fans recognize the undefeated champion and larger-than-life personality, she suggests there's a very different side that exists away from the spotlight, that in her account, that drive for control and dominance doesn't stop once the fight ends. It carries into everyday life. She claims her father feels the need to assert financial power in nearly every setting, presenting an image of absolute success, whether it fits the situation or not. According to her perspective, it goes beyond simple confidence or showmanship. It's about maintaining a persona, one that appears untouched by struggle, even if holding on to that image creates pressure behind the scenes.
Boxing is your family business. Your dad, your uncle were pro boxers.
Yes.
And now your 4-year-old grandson,
Yes.
KJ, 4 years old, he's training with. He's cute. He's really cute.
Yes.
My hands are too little. That's amazing, huh?
I live for that, man.
Yeah.
I love him. My grandson.
And so your kids are not into boxing, right?
No, not at all.
No.
To Yaya Mayweather, the claims about Manhattan aren't just a one-off moment. They're part of a much larger pattern. She suggests that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has long felt the need to present himself as bigger, wealthier, and more untouchable than anyone else in the room. From her perspective, maintaining that image has always been a priority, even at a personal cost. She describes a constant effort to avoid any sign of financial weakness, no matter the circumstances. According to her account, that pressure to uphold a flawless public persona has, at times, created tension within their relationship, suggesting that protecting the image of success has mattered just as much, if not more, than preserving personal connections.
A young boy,
Yes.
and she's now pregnant, and
Yes.
people have been talking about it, and I've not even posted on Hollywood Unlocked because I feel like I'd rather have the conversation with you. How did you feel about that?
I just want the best for my daughter. Always want the best. If that makes her happy, then we're happy. Me and her mother is happy. But what I try not to do is get in her personal business. Because once she's no longer under my roof, then you know what? It's between her and her better half.
This doesn't come across as an isolated claim. There are moments from a past that seem to echo what Yaya Mayweather is describing. One of the most talked about incidents was when she was arrested in connection to a serious altercation involving her then boyfriend, NBA YoungBoy.at the time. It was widely understood that Floyd Mayweather Jr. wasn't fully supportive of the relationship. Yet when he was asked about it publicly, his response was noticeably restrained. Instead of addressing the tension directly, he shifted the tone, offering general support and saying he only wanted the best for his daughter. To some observers, that moment reflected a pattern, choosing controlled public messaging over revealing personal conflict, and maintaining a composed image even in situations where emotions and realities might have been far more complicated behind the scenes.
Okay. Well, we want to know, in the least amount of fights, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
After the arrest, Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s social media told a very different story. There were no posts about Yaya Mayweather, not a mention, not a show of public support. At the same time, he continued sharing moments with his other children, including Karan Mayweather, often highlighting training sessions and family time. Followers quickly picked up on the absence. The silence surrounding Yaya stood out, and for many, it didn't feel accidental. It looked like distance, an effort to separate his carefully crafted public image from the controversy surrounding his daughter. What made it even more striking was the contrast. This was the same father who had once spent lavishly on her, throwing a headline-grabbing Sweet 16 celebration featuring performances from Drake and Future. But in that moment, the public display of support disappeared, replaced by a silence that, to many watching, said more than words ever could.
Let's get it. Check this out, check this out, check this out, check this out. Whoever doesn't wish me happy birthday, I don't care if it's at midnight or 11:59 tomorrow night, whoever doesn't wish me happy birthday, I bet you won't hear from me again. I swear to God, that's the only one.
To Yaya Mayweather, this pattern wasn't surprising. It was familiar. In her view, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has often been highly visible when things are positive, but noticeably distant when situations turn complicated. She pointed to moments from the past that highlighted the contrast. There were extravagant celebrations, including a birthday appearance from Nicki Minaj and luxury gifts like a Mercedes G-Wagon. Events filled with cameras, attention, and public displays of affection. But when challenges entered her life in a very public way, that visibility seemed to disappear. Instead, Floyd's social media continued to present a polished image, sharing moments with his other children, and posting captions about striving to be the best father he could be. To outside observers, the contrast between those two realities, lavish public gestures and private absence during difficult times, became hard to ignore, adding another layer to the ongoing conversation around image versus reality.
Little money,
they don't see like the human in you a lot of
Yeah,
times, not
you
the
know-
people on the outside.
Yeah, I'm proud of my daughter because even though she's a little young to have a baby, 21, and she'll be 22 this year, but I'm proud of her. I'm proud of NBA young boy. Very, very talented.
Chris Algieri added his voice to the growing conversation, sharing a viral take that cut through the noise. He reminded fans of the peak, when Floyd Mayweather Jr. reportedly earned hundreds of millions in a single night against Manny Pacquiao, with the event generating massive global revenue. But according to Algieri, that level of success doesn't automatically guarantee long-term stability. He pointed out that behind the highlight reel lifestyle and undefeated legacy, there are increasing questions being raised, ranging from tax issues to disputes tied to business operations and real estate claims. What made his comments stand out was the perspective. This wasn't coming from a random critic. It was a fighter-turned-analyst speaking from experience within the sport. And his warning was clear. The kind of spending habits that once symbolized success can, over time, start to resemble patterns seen in other high-earning athletes who struggled to maintain their wealth. For analysts watching closely, the concern is that even the strongest-looking empires can face pressure when obligations, liabilities, and expectations begin to stack up all at once, challenging the idea that any financial legacy is completely untouchable.
Owes a bunch of gambling debts. Floyd, okay? And he tried to plant fake news out here saying that he was in downtown LA giving out money, and then he was at the, the basketball game.
There are also claims that Floyd Mayweather Jr. hasn't changed his lifestyle at all. The same images keep surfacing. Stacks of cash on display, luxury travel, and interviews where he talks about pulling in millions every month from his investments. But that's where the questions start to grow louder. What exactly are these investments? Are they solid income-generating assets built for the long run? Or are they tied up in flashy ventures and expensive holdings that look impressive, but aren't easy to convert into real cash when obligations start piling up?
We appreciate your stance on still wearing Gucci and not bowing down to that. How do you feel about the pressure that the media tried to give you for
Well,
that?
you know, this man will tell you from day one, I was born to be a leader. You know, I was born to be a leader from day one. So I want everybody to follow their own dreams, believe in what you believe in, and I don't have nothing negative to say about nobody.
Shannon Sharp isn't convinced by the narrative. In his view, there was more behind Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s decision to face Conor McGregor back in 2017. While many believe it was McGregor chasing the opportunity, Sharp flipped that idea, suggesting Mayweather was just as motivated, if not more, by the financial upside. According to Sharp, that fight wasn't only about proving dominance across sports. It was about securing a massive payday at a time when it may have been necessary.
Your career is on the way, man. Let's give it a lot of step, man. Get your career right.
For someone like Mayweather, everything operates at extremes. Either he's sitting comfortably at the top, or he's pushing hard to get back there. And in that relentless chase, traditional financial discipline doesn't always apply. When your lifestyle includes private jets, high-stakes gambling, and constant displays of wealth, slowing down isn't part of the equation. The image has to be maintained at all costs, but now, as more questions surface and scrutiny builds, there's a growing sense that reality may be starting to close in, forcing a closer look at what's really happening behind the scenes.
Hey, man, okay? So, man, right now, man, you finna move to the top, man. You gotta have private things.
Documents, legal filings, vague online posts, and even Yaya Mayweather's reflective comments about her father's biggest career gamble. All of it feels like small cracks revealing what's happening behind the curtain. It's no longer just about financial pressure. It's about a man whose entire myth was built on bold risks, massive stakes, and living at the edge of uncertainty. And now, that same clock he once controlled seems to be running on its OWN.AT the same time. Floyd Mayweather Jr. still can't escape his long-running tension with 50 Cent. Their feud has followed them for years, dating back to their public fallout around 2012. That the story traces back to a period when Mayweather was incarcerated and 50 Cent was said to have been involved in supporting the promotional side of Mayweather's business efforts. According to 50 Cent, he invested nearly $2 million into Mayweather's boxing venture to help keep things afloat, expecting repayment later. But once Mayweather was released, disagreements emerged. 50 Cent believed he was owed money for his involvement, while Mayweather disputed the claim, stating there was no formal agreement requiring repayment. That disagreement escalated into a public fallout that never fully cooled down. Even today, the tension remains active. In recent exchanges, 50 Cent has continued to take shots at Mayweather, keeping their rivalry alive and ensuring that their history continues to resurface whenever new controversy surrounds Money Mayweather.
One thing about me, I ain't got to do nothing for the rest of my life. I don't got to do this. I can sit at home with Miami. I can sit at home with you every week.
Usually got more than you.
Call that shit Chase. It's like that.
More recently, fresh reports surfaced claiming Floyd Mayweather Jr. had gone on an aggressive buying run in New York's property market. The numbers being discussed were huge, multi-million-dollar deals involving apartments and commercial spaces spread across the city. On paper, it looked like the kind of move only someone at the very top of the financial food chain would make. He didn't just invest from afar either.
So the money's really gone.
Yeah, that's what you think. It's get the money, spend the money.
All that money.
And it took been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a...
Sources suggested he even relocated part-time to New York City to personally oversee the expansion and keep a close eye on the deals as they developed. Then, months later, Mayweather appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, where he casually dropped a surprising claim. When asked about his holdings, he hinted that his real estate portfolio had grown far beyond expectations, suggesting he now owned well over 100 properties, with a vast majority located in New York alone. "I don't know the exact count," he said during the interview, "but it's somewhere over 100 buildings." That statement didn't go unnoticed, especially by 50 Cent, who has long been quick to react whenever Mayweather's name enters the spotlight.
Day to day, month to month, like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone. Trust me. Now it's like if you call him, he'll be at your local host in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
On Instagram, 50 Cent quickly jumped on the comments, mocking the claims about over 100 buildings and the idea that nearly all of them are based in New York. He laughed it off, suggesting the numbers didn't add up and calling the whole story exaggerated. His reaction wasn't just casual trolling, it carried a sharper edge. In typical fashion, 50 Cent didn't stop at one post. He followed up by questioning whether Floyd Mayweather Jr. truly understood what he owns, implying that the boxing star might be confused or overstating his real position. In an earlier message, he had already cast doubt on Mayweather's business narrative, suggesting that the situation around those properties wasn't as clear-cut as it sounded. What stood out most was the tone behind it all. For 50 Cent, it wasn't just about real estate claims. It was another opportunity to challenge the image of a man who has built his entire public identity on being financially untouchable.
Amir Khan's comments on Floyd Mayweather's finances have sparked controversy, highlighting Mayweather's support for Israel without acknowledging Palestine. Concerns about bias, accountability, and public responsibility have been raised. The debate shifts focus from Mayweather's boxing skills to the character implications of his political views.
Backing up 50 Cent's sarcasm, veteran boxing insider Rick Glazer added another layer of speculation to the conversation. He suggested that the chatter around financial strain involving Floyd Mayweather Jr. wasn't as easy to dismiss as some believed, hinting that the rumors, while hard to accept, were being discussed in serious circles behind the scenes. Glazer shared the sentiment publicly, implying that there might be more going on beneath the surface than the flashy lifestyle suggests. Coming from someone known to be closely connected to boxing's inner workings, his words carried extra weight compared to typical online noise. That shift changed the entire tone of the debate. What started as jokes and online jabs from 50 Cent began to feel less like entertainment and more like early signs of a bigger narrative forming. Suddenly, the situation wasn't just about rival trash talk or social media banter anymore. It created a sense of uncertainty, enough for fans and observers to start asking whether there was actual truth behind the smoke, and if so, how deep the story really goes.